what's happening around the world
and what's happening here at home. A very good evening. You're watching Primetime News on TV1. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Rochelle Kumodar.
and I'm Sandhu Ferdinando. Let's take a look at your headlines for tonight.
Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar become key factors to form Modi's next government. Congress party continues talks to form new alliance. President, Prime Minister and opposition leader congratulate Modi. Modi assures cooperation between the two countries. Suspects in shocking assault on Valioya child remanded. Duty of Election Commission is to conduct the polls, no matter the challenges, says Chief Justice. Hundreds still affected by floods, despite decrease in rainfall.
First up in news overseas, according to Indian media, the BJP-led National Democratic Alliance will meet Indian President Draupadi Murmu and stake claim from the new government.
Meanwhile, hours early, Modi met Murmu to resign ahead of the dissolution of this government on the 16th of June. Modi was asked to continue till the new government is appointed.
Now, what is the latest surrounding the Indian elections and what future lies ahead? Let's take a look at the Newsfirst International Desk.
Mariam, the results of the Indian Lok Sabha election have been released. Now, the Narendra Modi-led Bharatiya Janata Party declared victory in the election. Now, as we all know, the Indian election marks significant importance to the region, especially as Sri Lanka calls its neighboring country its elder brother. But there's two sides to it. How will this election affect India itself, and how will it affect the region as a whole? Well, Mariam and I are ready to dive deeper into India's political situation right now. Well, Mariam, first of all, Modi has declared victory in the election. Now, what does this mean for the country, and what is the situation in this moment?
Yes, Hashini, now India is the largest democracy in the world, and I'm sure you are aware, as well as our viewers, that the Indian election was held in 7 phases in total. So that means this election started off on the 19th of April and went on until the 1st of June. And there were at least 970 million people who were eligible to vote for this particular election. So the Lok Sabha election, or the general election in India, was held over this past month. And India's lower house of parliament actually comprises of 543 seats. So there are 2 main parties in India. One is the Bharatiya Janata Party and the other is the Congress. And the BJP formed an alliance to contest this particular election, and the Congress did the same as well. So the National Democratic Alliance, that is the NDA, was led by the BJP, and the Congress Alliance, of course, by the Congress.
So, Mariam, these 2 main parties contested in the election within their own respective alliances.
Well, mostly, pretty much, we could say that. But in some territories, they actually contested solo, but most of it was done as an alliance. So, Hashini, this time, within the 543 seats, BJP alone won 240 seats. And meanwhile, the alliance won 293 seats.
आज बड़ा मंगल है.
I am grateful to the people for the victory of the National Democratic Alliance led by the Bharatiya Janata Party for the 3rd time. This is the first time in India that a government that has already been in power for 2 terms has been brought to power once again for the 3rd time.
तीसरी बार सरकार बननी तय है.
Okay, let me take a quick moment to actually compare this election with the previous elections. That is the 2019 election and the 2014 election. So in 2019, the BJP alone won 303 seats. And in 2014, that was 283 seats. So this time around, it seems like the BJP, that is the Bharatiya Janata Party, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's party, will not be able to form a government on its own.
So Mariam, do you mean to say that compared to the previous election, the BJP has underperformed and now they need help forming a government, am I right?
Exactly. 303 seats alone to 240 seats alone doesn't seem like much a competition, I would say. On the other hand, the Congress won 55 seats alone. This time, that has increased to 99 seats. So the Congress alliance has won 232 seats in total. Now, Hashni, the National Democratic Alliance, or the BJP's alliance, is comprised of two strong parties. Let us take a look at what those two parties are. One includes the former Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Chandrababu Naidu's party, that is the Telugu Desam Party, or the TDP. And this party has won 16 seats in total. And then we have the other Chief Minister of Bihar, Nitish Kumar's party, the United Janata Dal, and this party has won 12 seats in total. So 16 and 12 seats is a total of 28 seats. So, according to reports, the Congress's plan is to actually work together with these parties and get them to come onto the Congress's side so they can win over those 28.
That means the 28 seats that is with the BJP at the moment. Is that possible? I mean, how is that possible?
I would agree with you, Hashni. It seems like a difficult task. I would definitely say not an easy task to do. But given India's history, it's not impossible at the same time, because in previous times, this has actually happened.
Right. So, according to India's legal system, an individual is not allowed to cross over. Am I right?
Yeah.
So, that means it has to always be a party.
That's right. So an individual cannot cross over from one party to another. It has always have to be one party crossing over and joining another party. Hashni, the other thing is, the Congress has the All India Trinamool Congress, that is West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee's party. Now that party has 29 seats. And then we have the Samajwadi Party from Uttar Pradesh, that is led by Akhilesh Yadav. That party has 37 seats. And then we have the DMK, that is the Dravida Munnetra Kalaham, a party name that a lot of Sri Lankans are familiar with, that is led by the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin. This party has 22 seats. Now, interestingly, the BJP is also trying to do the same thing that the Congress is doing. They are trying to work with these people and try to win over them so that they can use their seats in order to form a government.
So, tell us, Mariam, amidst all this, how long do both of these parties have?
Well, as of now, India is to have their next Prime Minister sworn in on the 8th of June. So, until the 8th of June, we have no idea what can happen, but a lot can happen.
Is there anything interesting surrounding these elections?
Hashini, I would say the election alone is interesting. Apart from that, I've heard the election critics say that India is going through quite a hard time, especially the BJP, and the BJP is more focused on solving their own internal crisis.
Right. Interesting. So that is the situation in India right now. Anything can happen today, anything can happen tomorrow, anything can happen before the 8th of June. So we will have to wait and see.
Sri Lankan political leaders, including President Ranil Wickremesinghe, opposition leader Sajith Premadasa and former Sri Lankan President Mahinda Rajapaksa, extended wishes on X to Narendra Modi on the Indian general election win, to which Modi also replied. On X, President Ranil Wickremesinghe extended felicitations to BJP-led NDA on its victory, demonstrating the confidence of the Indian people in the progress and prosperity under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, adding that as the closest neighbour, Sri Lanka looks forward to further strengthening the partnership with India. In response, Narendra Modi said he looks forward to the continued cooperation on the India-Sri Lanka economic partnership. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa also took to X to extend congratulations to Narendra Modi and the NDA on a historic win. He said that they look forward to being inspired by a new chapter of big decisions for India and another chapter of India's neighbourhood first policy. In response, Narendra Modi thanked Sajith Premadasa for his warm wishes and noted that India's relations with Sri Lanka are special and uniquely fraternal. He added that they are committed to further strengthen the unbreakable bonds in keeping with India's neighbourhood first policy. Former Sri Lankan President Mahinda Rajapaksa extended his heartiest congratulations to his friend Narendra Modi on securing a third term following the Bharatiya Janata Party's victory in India. He said that the people have spoken, acknowledging Narendra Modi's vision and dedication to serving India. Mahinda Rajapaksa said on X that he looks forward to furthering ties with the new government. In response, Narendra Modi thanked his friend Mahinda Rajapaksa for the wishes, adding that as the Sri Lanka-India partnership charts new frontiers, he looks forward for Rajapaksa's continued support. Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca, congratulating Narendra Modi on X, said that the Bharatiya Janata Party-led NDA alliance has proven that the people will continue to have faith in leaders that deliver results. He said that Sri Lanka and India share a civilizational bond and that he looks forward to working closely with Modi as they pursue shared objectives for mutual success. In response, Narendra Modi said India's ties with Sri Lanka are special and they will continue to work with the people of Sri Lanka to further deepen and strengthen it. Wishes were extended to Narendra Modi in the Sri Lankan Parliament as well.
Reminiscing on friendships, support and solidarity with Asian nations, congratulations are extended to Prime Minister Narendra Modi on his election win for a future where India will forge new milestones of success.
I would like to, at this juncture, while congratulating Prime Minister Modi, propose from the Sri Lankan Parliament that India should be duly made a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. This is of utmost importance, and as the country which possesses the largest population in the whole world, and also when you examine the world economic military security power configuration, I feel that this representation of India in the United Nations Security Council must be achieved and must be promoted, and we as parliamentarians, all 225 in this August Assembly, would like to propose that India be made a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council, and I think it's long overdue and it should be implemented as quickly as possible.
Sri Lanka's police took swift action by apprehending 5 individuals connected to the distressing incident involving the assault of a young child that circulated on social media yesterday. They were brought before court today.
Here's a detailed account of this disturbing incident, and we must advise our viewers that they might find the following footage distressing. Viewer discretion is advised.
In a disturbing incident that sent shockwaves through Sri Lanka, authorities swiftly launched an investigation following emergence of distressing scenes on social media. Sri Lanka police launched an immediate inquiry resulting in the arrest of several individuals allegedly involved in the heinous attack on a 4-year-old girl. Early this morning, a joint operation involving the Valioya Police, Mullaitive's Criminal Investigation Division and the Pulmonday Police Special Task Force culminated in the apprehension of 3 women and another individual. The suspects were taken into custody alongside the primary assailant responsible for the assault. As details emerged after the suspect's arrest, it became clear that the victim was a 4-year-old girl. Shockingly, the assault was carried out by her stepfather, a 47-year-old man. The child's mother, 2 other women and another man were also arrested by police for aiding in the assault carried out by the primary suspect. The suspects were presented before the Tourism Magistrates Court in Padavia this afternoon. The court ordered to remand the suspect until the 19th of June. Additionally, the girl's mother, who allegedly aided and abetted the assailant, will undergo a psychiatric evaluation as per a court order. Meanwhile, the young victim has been placed under the care of the Anuradhapura probation officers.
ඔහු මේ පොල්මල කුඩා කියන ප්‍රදේශයේ නිවසක සංගවී සිටියා. මේ සැකකරුත් ඒ වගේම ඒ සැකකරු සමග
The suspect, identified as Munasinghe Kodikaralage Chaminda, aged 45 and residing in Kalyanapura, Hansavilla, was discovered hiding in a residence in Pulmalakuda area. Accompanying him were 2 women, one of whom were present during the assault on the young girl. Additionally, a 48-year-old resident of Pulmude who knowingly harboured the suspect was also arrested. Another woman linked to the incident was apprehended at the scene. As she failed to provide pertinent information to the authorities, she faces charges of aiding and abetting the crime through her silence. Following the offence, the suspect fled the scene in a 3-wheeler, which has since been impounded by the police. We urge the public to come forward with any information on incidents of child abuse. Please contact the police immediately at 119 or 109 or reach out via the phone number 0112 44 4444.
ඉල්ලා සිටින්නේ ඔබට මෙවැනි ආකාරයට මේ දරුවන් කූරත්වයට පත්වන ආකාරයට වෙන සිදුවීම් පිළිබඳව ඔබට තොරතුරු තියෙනවා නම් වහාම පොලිසියට දැනුම් දෙන්න. 119 දුරකථන අංකය තියෙනවා, 109 දුරකථන අංකය තියෙනවා, 0112 44 44 44 කියන දුරකථන අංකය තියෙනවා.
අපිට පුළුවන් නම් ආධාරය කර අපි හැමෝම අතුරුනයි මොනවද දෙයක් අපිට කරන්න කියන්නවත් වෙලාවක් නෑ වතුරේනවා ඕගොල්ලෝ එකපාරට හැමදාම මේ දුකම තමයි.
Today is World Environment Day. Unfortunately, we mark today with details of the aftermath of a natural disaster.
A large group of Sri Lanka's populace were victim to incessant rains, earth slips and other natural disasters which occurred since last Saturday, causing them great distress.
The following report brings you the latest situation of those affected areas.
The Sri Lanka Air Force had captured aerial footage of the situation which persisted in the Gampaha town yesterday. A considerable portion of the town was underwater by last evening. When Newsfirst inquired from locals regarding the floods, they claimed that certain areas which previously did not experience flooding had also been inundated in this instance. While water in areas that were inundated last afternoon had receded, several roads continue to be waterlogged. Residents of Gampaha who returned to their homes following the deluge were seen restoring their homes.
බුලත් ටිකක් කාලා තමයි ගියේ තුනේ. ඒ ඊයෙන්දලා වතුර කන්ද බොන්ද මොකෝන්න. තවත් දෙක තුන වැස්සට පස්සේ මේ කරා හැමදේම මේ ගම්පහ මේ ප්‍රදේශෙ මේ යට වෙනවා. පැය දෙක තුන වැහපු ගමන් පාරවල් උතුරාගෙන යනවා. දෙපැත්ත කාණු පද්ධතිය නැහැ.
Around 100 homes were flooded as a result of the overflow from the Gampaha town flowing into Gurugevatta, Kotugoda. Newsfirst correspondent reported that flood waters in areas such as Kalanimulla and Amathale had receded by today. This home in Molkaba, Palindanura, where 5 people resided in, has been inundated during the incessant rains. A 72-year-old man was swept away in the deluge in Mulkadakamda, Batagoda in Millania while returning from his daughter's home. Newsfirst correspondent in Mathura revealed that homes have been dealt severe damages, although floods have receded.
වෙසක් මාසෙ වෙනකොට හැමදාම ගම් වතුර ගලනවා. දැන් අවුරුදු 2ක් 3ක් එක දිගට මේ විදියට. මොකද ගෙවල් වල බඩු මිට්ටු සේරම ඉවරයිනේ. ළමයි එක එක පන්සල් වල කඳුරු වල. දැන් මේ බලන්න මේ බිත්තිය. මේ බිත්තිය මේ ගම් වතුරට ඇලවිලා තියෙන්නේ. පුංචි යවුන් දෙන්නෙක් ගෙදර ඉන්නවා. බොමාරු දුක් මහන්සියෙන් මේවා හම්බ කරලා හදාගත්ත ඒවා.
කොට අවුරුදු දෙකකට වගේ සැරයක් තමයි මේ වගේ වතුරක් ආවේ. දැන් මේ අවුරුද්දේ දෙපාරක් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. කරිජ්ජ වෙල්ල තමයි මෙතන පළවෙනිම හේතුව. මෙච්චර වතුර රැඳෙන්නත් පරක්කු වෙලා බහින්නත් හේතුව කරිජ්ජ වෙල්ල. වෙනදා නම් මේ සාමාන්‍ය වතුරක් යනකොට ස්පීඩ් එකෙන් ඇවිල්ලා එවුරු කඩාගෙන බහිනවා. කරිජ්ජ වෙල්ලේ හින්දා ඔක්කොම වතුර බ්ලොක් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ.
Many waterlogged areas were observed even by this evening in Kadduwa, Malimbada, Uninduvela and Kotuwangoda. Newsfirst correspondent said that rations including food were delivered to those residing in areas that are inundated through boats. Officials of the Disaster Management Centre, Irrigation Department and Sri Lanka Army conducted an observation at the flood prevention embankment in Attuduwava, Mathura.
The deluge had washed away part of the embankment. We plan to set up a temporary embankment to stop the flow of water. Ideally, the water level must reduce by now, but because this part was destroyed, the water continues to flow. Then we place sandbags and restore it.
A portion of the Maluvarala Vavar in Porutota, Mathura had been washed away. Newsfirst correspondent reported that army soldiers had restored the damaged areas with sandbags. The Baddegama water meter of the Ging River recorded a water level of 5.6 meters last night, and it had reduced to 5.59 meters by this morning. The Baddegama Old Town continues to be waterlogged, and several roads in the vicinity were also inundated. Although the water level of the Ging River continues to reduce, many houses in Marjuana, Baddegama continue to be flooded, while the Dodangoda town in Gaul is also inundated.
Several houses in Ratnapura have been damaged due to a landslide in South Karandana, Ehaliyagoda. Health officials warn that there is a risk of the spread of diseases such as leptospirosis, commonly known as rat fever. Many germs as well as fecal matters could be mixed in the flood water. There is also a risk of the spread of mosquito-borne diseases. Therefore, the general public must be cautious about the spread of dengue fever. In addition, the water may contain germs and rat urine that may cause rat fever. Do not get into the water for any reason. You will start seeing the symptoms only after the flood water goes down. Sometimes people may get skin diseases as well as bacterial infections. We'd like to remind you to meet medical teams and receive the necessary treatment. You could get infections as well. There is also the risk of respiratory diseases spreading. If you have symptoms of respiratory diseases, if you have a cough, fever or breathing difficulties, go to the nearest hospital or meet a medical team.
State Minister of Defence Pramita Bandara Tennakon once again updated the Parliament on the disaster situation in the country.
I will give an explanation on the disaster situation in the country from the 15th of May to the 4th of June 2024. As per reports, 71 houses were destroyed, while 9,377 houses were damaged. 825 small and medium-scale businesses and 63 infrastructure systems have endured damages. 13,028 people belonging to 3,261 families have been moved to 165 safe centers, and they are being provided with food and other facilities. The number of casualties reported from the 15th of May to date is 30. One more was reported this morning. We have given the families of the deceased 25,000 rupees each to carry out the final rites. In addition, we plan on giving them a compensation as well. We have not yet arrived at a final decision on the amount to be given to those who endured house and property damage due to natural disasters. We hope to make the decision soon. 1,054.5 million rupees have been allocated for the National Disaster Relief Services Centre for the year 2024. Accordingly, we made a complete change to the existing circular. We have made changes for a meal to be provided daily and increased the funds by 33%. Usually, people are required to collect the meal from a relief centre. We changed this. Families who have moved to the upper stories of their houses for safety will be delivered meals by relief teams via boat.
මෙම ආහාර වේල ලබලා දෙන්න දැනට අපි කටයුතු කරලා තිබෙනවා. චක්‍රලේඛනයේ තියෙන්නේ අවතැන් වූවන් කඳ උරටාම තමයි කැම දෙන්නේ. හරිද? එතකොට අවතැන් වූ අය ගෙවල් වල ඉන්න අය දැන් මේ
According to the circular, the displaced should come to a camp to obtain the food. If you take the residents of this area, the doors to their houses can be broken open with one kick. They would not go to the camp. Once I pointed this out to the president, he made changes and put forward a new cabinet paper facilitating the delivery of food to those affected. However, the prices of goods have skyrocketed. Water and electricity bills have also gone up. However, the funds allocated for those affected remain unchanged. How much is a packet of rice at a restaurant? However, the government has allocated only 150 rupees per person, 450 rupees for the whole day. Can they buy food from this? That is why they end up getting spoiled food. That is why they do not get a nutritious meal. We emphasize that the circular must be changed. The funds should be in line with current market prices.
මේ ලබා දෙන මුදල් අදට ගැලපෙන විදිහට මාකට් මේ ප්‍රයිස් එකට මේ හදන්න ඕන.
The Sri Lanka Government Officers Trade Union Association says that they have been severely affected as a result of the circular issued by the Ministry of Disaster Management and the Disaster Management Centre.
We will be able to provide prepared food, but we will only be able to provide this to the individuals in camps allocated to those affected. It is evident that most of the affected are either in their houses or at relatives away from the camps. Grama Niladhari officers and other officials have to depend on philanthropists, media organizations or other individuals for aid.
Saman Ratnapriya, Director General of Trade Unions, to the President, commented.
A
request was made regarding the challenges faced by individuals in accessing food in Kulannava. We ensured the provision of meals to these individuals with the assistance of the army. The government resolved to not only supply lunch but also provide food, water and essential items to those residing outside the camps in their homes. This decision was made 2 days ago and communicated verbally with the official circular subsequently issued. There have been instances where the implementation of such directives faltered, and it remains the duty of government officials to act. There have been instances of shortcomings in fulfilling this responsibility in certain areas.
Sri Lanka Navy divers retrieved a Rs 30 million worth acoustic Doppler current profiler instrument beneath Hangwalla Bridge.
A successful salvage mission conducted by Navy divers led to the recovery of an acoustic Doppler current profiler instrument, also known as ADCP, from beneath Hanwalla Bridge. Amidst torrential rainfall, this valuable device, worth 30 million rupees, owned by the Department of Irrigation, was carried away by the surging waters of the Kalani River. The device ultimately became entangled in dense bamboo sticks and river debris. The ADCP, also known as river ray, is used to measure the speed and direction of currents throughout the water column. With surging waters, its GPS device became entangled in bamboo bushes and debris carried by the water, causing it to detach from the main unit. It is in this backdrop the Department of Irrigation has requested assistance from Navy headquarters, seeking Navy diving support to locate and retrieve the lost GPS device.
Chief Justice Jayanta Jayasuriya announced at the Supreme Court today that it is the responsibility of the National Election Commission to conduct free and fair elections no matter what obstacles that arise. The Chief Justice made the statement when several petitions stating that the non-conduction of the local government elections had violated fundamental rights was taken up once again today.
The petitions were taken up before the bench comprising Chief Justice Jayanta Jayasuriya and Justices Vijit Malagoda, Gamini Amarasekara, Murdu Fernando and Yasantha Kodagoda. President's Counsel Salia Peiris, who appeared on behalf of the chairman and members of the National Election Commission, said that all steps had been taken to duly hold the local government elections. The President's Council pointed out that, however, the Election Commission is being blamed for the situation that arose due to the funds to hold the election not being released by the government. He added that all decisions regarding the conduction of the local government elections was taken with the approval of the majority of the NEC members. The President's Council alleged that the executive of the state is purposely delaying the elections and went on to say that the statement, "The election has not been postponed, there is no election to be postponed," only goes to show the selfishness of the executive. President's Counsel Upul Jayasuriya appeared for the SJB with President's Counsel Nigel Hedge, and President's Counsel Viran Korea appeared on behalf of the NPP and Centre for Policy Alternatives. Additional Solicitor General President's Counsel Nerine Pillai appeared before the Supreme Court on behalf of the Attorney General. The petitions, which were filed by the SJB, NPP and the Centre for Policy Alternatives, have named the Election Commission and its members as the respondents. The petitions will be taken up for further consideration tomorrow.
Colombo Additional Magistrate Manjula Ratnayaka issued an order for the Criminal Investigation Department to conduct an investigation into the inclusion of former State Minister Diana Gamage's name in the national list of the Samagi Jana Balawega.
The directive comes in a response to a complaint filed by a resident of the Dompe area, Y.A. Saman Nishanta. The complaint alleges that the SJB General Secretary had committed an offence by including Diana Gamage's name during the compilation of the national list, adding that Gamage is not a citizen of Sri Lanka. The complaint calls for action against the SJB General Secretary.
During a meeting with members of the Samagijan Balawegya War Heroes Union in Valigama, Mathura, former Army Commander retired General Mahesh Sena Naik emphasized the importance of conducting the next presidential election in a manner that upholds the rights of the country's citizens.
It
is imperative that our country upholds the democratic process by having presidential election as per the constitution. Any attempt by a group to exploit the current challenges for personal gain should be rejected. Preserving democratic rights is paramount, and any actions taken must align with the constitutional framework. I caution against any endeavours to disrupt the peace. We cannot go back to the Aragale and bloodshed. Therefore, a presidential election must be held.
The Election Commission will be empowered to proclaim the date for the presidential election in 42 days.
Sri Lanka has appointed a new head of mission of Sri Lanka to the Russian Federation.
Ambassador P.M. Amza assumed duties as the head of mission of Sri Lanka to the Russian Federation on the 3rd of June 2024 at the Embassy of Sri Lanka in Moscow. Amza is a retired senior foreign service officer with a career ranging 3 decades. Amza was ambassador of Sri Lanka to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia immediately prior to this assignment. He had also served as ambassador of Sri Lanka to Turkey and Belgium, head of mission to the European Union, and several other overseas assignments. At the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Sri Lanka, he had served in different capacities, including the Additional Secretary responsible for Economic Affairs and Chief of Protocol. In addition, Ambassador Amza received at the Embassy of Sri Lanka in Moscow Dr. Sita Arabepola, State Minister of Health of Sri Lanka, who is on an official visit to the Russian Federation. Earlier today, Ambassador Amza received at the Embassy of Sri Lanka in Moscow a 3-member delegation led by J.C. Alavatuala, MP, Deputy Chief Opposition Whip, and comprising members of Parliament Sujit Sanjay Pereira and Vasanta Yapa Bandara. The MPs are in Russia to speak with officials on former Sri Lankan military personnel serving in the front lines for Russia against Ukraine.
The delegation of the Samagi Jana Alliance that left to Russia have initiated discussions with the Sri Lankan ambassador to Russia and the Consulate General of the St. Petersburg.
The delegation visited Sri Lankan soldiers who were hospitalized to inquire their health situation.
We have information about 220 people that should go back to Sri Lanka. We came to know that only 600 people have knowingly come to Sri Lanka. We found that some soldiers have come to this country without having a specific service contract. We have received information about 10 people who have died and several people who are missing. We handed over a report about all these people to the Consulate General in St. Petersburg.
St. Petersburg වල තිබෙන එහි සිටින කොන්සල්වරයාට අපි බාර දුන්නා.
Leader of the opposition shed light on the difficulties faced by the Sri Lanka cricket team currently participating in the Men's T20 Cricket World Cup. He made this statement in Parliament today.
අපි සුබපතනවා අපේ ක්‍රිකට් කණ්ඩායමට.
We wish the cricket team all the best to win the T20 World Cup. I would like to point out that according to ICC rules, the distance between the hotel they are accommodated at and the ground must be a maximum of 45 minutes. Our team is more than 1.5 hours away. Secondly, they had been waiting for 8 hours at the airport to travel to New York before their opening encounter. That has resulted in them being unable to attend a practice match. Our cricket officials seem to be in good terms with the ICC. Why are they being ill-treated? The 4 matches are being played at 4 venues. This is only limited to Sri Lanka. Didn't the ministry look into this? We are being treated in that manner when no other international team has to endure it. This schedule is complicated. How can we expect them to win? I wish to make a request for officials to pay attention to this matter and take necessary steps.
නිසා කරුණාකරලා මේ කරුණු කාරණා පිළිබඳව අවධානය යොමු කරලා මේකට නිසි පියවර ගන්නයි කියලා මම ඉල්ලීමක් කරන බොහොම ගෞරවයෙන්.
ක්‍රිකට් කණ්ඩායම සම්බන්ධව මාධ්‍ය වාර්තාත් ඒ ගැන අපි ක්‍රීඩා මාත්‍යාංශයට දැනුම් දීලා ඒකට හෙට පිළිතුරක් ලබා දෙන්න.
Newsfirst with the people.
14 new envoys present credentials to the president.
Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe received the credentials of 5 newly appointed High Commissioners and 9 ambassadors to Sri Lanka at the Colombo Fort President's House this morning. The High Commissioners representing New Zealand, the Republic of Cyprus, the Maldives, the Republic of Sierra Leone and the Republic of Mauritius were present. Additionally, ambassadors from the Republic of Guatemala, the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria, the Republic of Estonia, the Lao People's Democratic Republic, the Republic of Colombia, the Republic of Turkey, Ireland, the Hellenic Republic, Greece and the Republic of Bulgaria were also handed over their credentials. A brief ceremony was organized by the Colombo Fort Presidential Palace to officially welcome the new High Commissioners and ambassadors. Following the acceptance of credentials, President Ranil Wickremesinghe engaged in friendly discussions with the new High Commissioners and ambassadors.
Foreign Minister Ali Sabri has requested the Maldives to reconsider the limits on outward foreign currency remittances to benefit Sri Lankan migrant workers in the Maldives. He made these comments addressing a joint media briefing with visiting Maldivian Minister of Foreign Affairs Musa Zamir.
With clear indicators of gradual economic recovery, strengthening the bilateral economic relation is a priority for Sri Lanka in the country's recovery process. As a trusted partner of Sri Lanka, I invited investment from Maldives, particularly in the sectors such as hospitality, fisheries and food processing. We discussed extensively on the deepening cooperation in the aviation sector, especially on enhancing air connectivity. I also requested the Maldives side to consider revisiting the current limit imposed on outward foreign currency remittances for the benefit of the Sri Lankan migrant workers in Maldives. Conservation and sustainable coastal fisheries. During the discussion, I proposed that the tourism in an area where Sri Lanka could partner with Maldives through collaborative initiative for the benefit of both the countries. We agreed in building partnership through investment in the tourism and leisure sector and strengthening the cooperation in mutually beneficial areas.
Our developmental trajectory is positively influenced by the diverse forms of assistance we receive in the areas of health, education, commerce, and youth and sports. We are grateful to the Government of Sri Lanka for reaffirming the terms of a bilateral agreement on short-term visa up to 90 days for the nationals of both countries on the basis of reciprocity and providing concessional terms of resident student visas. Mr. Sabri and I agreed that much more need to be done to promote the trade and investment between the Maldives and Sri Lanka. In this regard, we hope to conclude the agreement to the avoidance of double taxation and on promotion of protection of investments between our two countries at the earliest. Minister Sabri and I also reaffirmed the position of our two countries on the situation on Gaza. We hope there will be an immediate and permanent ceasefire and the people of Gaza will have access to humanitarian aid that they so urgently need.
Day 19 of the third phase of the LOLC Divi Savia program, which is being carried out for the betterment of Sri Lanka's future generation, got underway today.
Under the Divisavya program, exercise books and stationery equipment required for 1 year are distributed free of charge to government schools with less than 150 students. Today's program was centered around the Vaunia North and Vaunia South education zones in the Vaunia district. Accordingly, school bags and stationery equipment were donated to students of the Tharanikulam Primary School, Kirachuri Karuvepankulam Vidyalaya, Tavasiyakulam Vidyalaya, Pulyankulam Primary School, Madina Vidyalaya, Katpakapuram School, Aisha Vidyalaya and the Chekkadipulav Government Tamil School. School bags and stationery equipment were also distributed to students at the Vaunia North and Vaunia South zonal education offices this morning. The LOLC Divisavya program continues to forge ahead for the future generation of Sri Lanka.
Escape: Stories of Survivors, a play illustrating the real-life narratives of 5 victims of child sexual abuse, took stage at the Lionel Went Theatre yesterday.
Escape: Stories of Survivors, produced by Sevalanka Foundation's Anonymous Productions for Leeds, is a powerful and poignant play centered around the real-life narratives of 5 victims of child sexual abuse in Sri Lanka.
You come to my house, okay? I have some computer games. Okay? I have a game I think you like. Shall we go?
To me, when I first was approached with the script, something that really stuck out to me was the fact that the script was very simple yet powerful. It delved deep into these issues very swiftly and efficiently in a way that really conveys the ugliness of this whole topic.
Currently, child sexual abuse is on the rise in Sri Lanka and also globally, and it's a subject not spoken very much in the media or by the important people such as the government and the stakeholders connected.
Come! I don't want the others to see it. Let's go back to my quarters and finish this. Huh? Come. You go. I'm coming behind you.
So the significance of this particular play, Escape: Stories of Survivors, is number one, to create an awareness and to spark another conversation about something that we rarely talk about in society, something that we consider taboo. And with the recent incidents that we've seen, even one today that's been going around social media, I think this is very prevalent. It's a prevalent topic. It's about time we talk about this again.
The main purpose of Escape: Stories of Survivors is to also spread awareness to the public on the subject of child sexual abuse and to bring in a network of people to start conversations and dialogue on the matter and to work towards a lasting solution to the problem.
I'm your husband. You do what I tell you. Lie down in the bed. Lie down in the bed.
The play took stage at the Lionel Went yesterday. This event took place as a vital fundraising campaign aimed at providing support to victims of such abuse and raising awareness about this critical issue. The somber and raw narratives of innocent children were unfolded in the dimly lit theatre. Each monologue, a poignant testament to their stolen innocence, was delivered with heart-wrenching authenticity. Escape: Stories of Survivors is a powerful reminder of the urgent need for action.
In celebration of the World Environment Day, Aitken Spence Hotels planted 2,000 trees among its properties in Sri Lanka, the Maldives, India and Oman. Across its Sri Lankan properties, including Heriton's Kandalama, Heriton's Ahungalla, Heriton's Tea Factory, Heriton's Ayurveda, Sentido Heriton's Nikambo, Thurya Kaluthura, Amethyst Resort and Earl's Regency, a total of 1,760 trees were planted. Heriton's Kandalama, Aitken Spencer's flagship sustainable hotel, will lead the effort by planting 750 trees in addition to its extensive bioconservation efforts, with 211 acres of conservation land coinciding with its 30th anniversary celebrations later this month. Heriton's Kandalama, blending seamlessly with its natural surroundings and setting benchmarks in sustainable tourism, has been recognized as the world's first Green Globe certified eco-resort and the first LEED certified resort outside of the United States of America.
And with that, we wrap up news for tonight.
Thank you for watching. Good night.
Good night.